Hello, and welcome to another day of TA the Degen way. She's looking bullish out there, I must say. So I want to start off right off the bat here. We're on our TradingView idea page. It's crypto file 622. Should be a link in the description. You can also join us on Discord. There's also a link in the description for this video, where pretty much most evenings at 8 p.m. our trading group, whoever's around, hops on and we look at whatever seems to be worth looking at and do some charting and just kind of see where things are at. But posted a few new charts, just following the momentum oscillators and the price actions and things that I see. She's just looking bullish, you know. I've still got a small portion of BTC and Ethereum short that is open still. But I've moved my stop loss down very, very close. And I'm starting to scale into some long positions on just some random things. Just looking at price action oscillators. As far as post today, we... DOT, I'm not a super big fan of DOT. Not really exactly sure what the point or purpose is, or I guess I do know what the point and purpose is, but it's not something I've always been very big on. But you can see this price action is curling to the downside, and then we kind of fell out of this curve, and now we're trending sideways. We haven't quite broken trend yet, but awfully close. But if we come down to the oscillator down here, you can see that this is starting to curl to the upside. We've got some serious divergence, a lot of lower lows, lower highs, and we're about to pinch off, not quite, but getting close. So I see this as a good spot to start scaling into some kind of a long position. Excuse me, something that somebody could potentially hold for quite a while. It's just going to be a midterm swing trade, and just going a 1/3 retrace of here's the swing high over here at 5,785, swing low 3.9, a 1/3 retrace of this swing. We're looking at 10.5%. You slap a little leverage on that, for a stop loss and validation area. We can just kind of take this, we pretty much got a falling wedge of some kind here, but good 3 to 4% down, so size your position accordingly if it's something that you're interested in taking. Obviously this isn't some kind of highly skilled financial advice. I'm just another dude on the internet just talking about what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, and if you agree and want to do it yourself, I guess that's up to you. For a second take profit, I'm looking at this local high here, the 50% retrace, up into your golden pocket. You got the downtrend coming down. Here's your 200 EMA, and as time moves on here, this price is way down here. I imagine this 200 EMA is going to continue to keep dropping down just a little bit. And I'm looking for this trade to be over sometime in first, second week of October. Probably somewhere around the 15th, middle of the month. Nice move. If you want to find this chart, go to the crypto file 622 page, or better yet, just click the link in the Discord. It doesn't cost any money. And there's other traders in there talking about their setups. And there is all these charts posted in there, along with more explanation. And plus, as these are being traded, there's the availability of live updates. Somebody change their mind or notice something different. It's a little hard to communicate that and repeat YouTube videos, but this is DOT, looking for 10 to 15, 20%. I like to close 50% early, just so I lock in some profit, and as price starts to break to the upside, my stop loss is going to be moving up immediately. And if we can get up in here, kind of break some of these highs, my stop loss will be going to entry. You know, once you get your stop loss to entry, you're on all house money. I mean, that's the goal, is to get risk-free as quick as possible with a good entry, as low as possible with that still has a reasonable stop loss and validation area. And that's what we got here. So, I mean, current price is $4.024. Stop loss area be kind of down in the 3.89 to 3.85 area. Take profit 1, 4.453. Take profit 2, 4.7. And what else do we got here? I took a look at Avax today. You know, and how did I even come up with which ones to look at? I mean, I could look at all kinds of them, you know. I don't even care for some of these projects that much, but just using a simple crypto screener, adjusting it to filter out the extremely low market caps so you can find the stuff that's actually available for, you know, the futures charts on your exchanges. If you like to use leverage and you actually don't want a spot hold, but you want to just trade the futures, I will adjust the filter on the crypto screener and trading view to filter out some of the lower caps, and then I set it for the ones that have strong buy signals on the oscillators, because what that's telling me is that most of the oscillators are starting to show some divergence or being seriously oversold. I prefer you know, Market Cipher, Market Liberator, Fu Manchu, this multi-indicator with the wave trend oscillator and money flow on it. I just find it much easier to read. But here we got Avax. Oh, and what do we got on Avax? We have serious bullish divergence. Money flows deep in the red, starting to level off a little bit. Nice indeed. And we got some serious divergence. You know, prices just keeps coming down this nice tight wedge. I mean, this might be the tip, you know, just the absolute very tip of the bottom. I mean, maybe not, you know, but you got a nice tight stop loss area. I mean, I chose 1 to 4%. I like to keep my stop loss wide. You know, I don't like to get stopped out. You know, when price just wicks down quick, hits your stop loss, and then moves on without you. If I'm available to, you know, even if it's with the phone or whatever it is, I like to set an alert at, you know, right where my stop loss and validation area begins, and if price crosses that, well, it gives me an alert, you know, so I can look and just see, is this seriously coming down, or did we just wick down real quick and pop back up? And that has saved me a few times from getting stopped out. But if you're not available and you don't use stop loss, well, sorry, but you're down. You know, when you get wiped out, and it's kind of your own fault. Stop losses have a point. They have a place and a purpose, and it is a good one. But at the same time, you know, stop loss hunts are real. You know, push price down, grab liquidity, push price up, grab liquidity. Why do I have a take profit here at 960? Well, that's the last local high. You know, where's the liquidity? You know, where does everybody have their stop loss on their shorts? You know, above the last high, where people looking to take profit at the highs. That's where the liquidity here, liquidity down here. But you got serious divergence, money flows deep in the red, 200 EMA way up there. And if we, this isn't the regular chart, obviously, this is the Trading View idea, so I'm foolishly scrolling around here. Jakers, there we go. So you can see the swing high, 1595, swing low, way down here at 8636. So, I mean, that gives us a huge spread on this swing. I mean, we could even have taken this here. Got a little bit of a fair value gap here, where price just kind of plummeted through there. Little range right there. So I'm looking to take profit here where this was previous support, flipped into resistance. So this is probably about 25% of the swing, but I mean, it's 10%. You know, again, slap a little leverage on there. She's got to go a long ways for you got low risk, high reward. I mean, that's what you want. And why have I not been taking all these long trades? You know, I mean, look at this big price pump, you know. People tell me about it all the time. Oh, bullish, bullish. Well, I mean, they're tiny little price pumps. It is where you got low risk, you got high risk for low reward. They're just not worth it. You're better off just holding to the short side, and probably could have held short through all this and done just fine. So take profit. One, I got I'm looking to close 50% of my trade. Price comes up just a little bit, get that stop loss entry. You know, maybe right here. Here's your last support to resistance. Think about this as like floors in a house. You know, this used to be the floor. Now you're down in the basement. When you get back up here, get that stop loss up to entry. You know, and let it continue. Then if you get stopped out, well, it's house money. Close 50%. Let the stop loss at entry. Let the rest rise. Maybe as price gets up here, you can start bumping your stop loss up, protect a little bit of that profit. And why not? And up here at I'm looking to close 75 to 100% of the trade. My guess is the EMA will be getting pulled down here. Price likes to reject a lot of times at 50% or right in the dead smack in the middle of the golden pocket, or right at 61.8. Anywhere from the 786 down to the 50. And you'll find if you're conservative, you'll probably make a lot more money than by being extremely risky and chasing that last little bit of the move. The last 15% of the swing is just not, I don't mean 15% in price increase, but the last 15% of the swing, like this last little bit shorting, it's just not worth chasing this last little bit. You got all this. It's not worth chasing this last little bit if price comes up here. You got all this. This is 33%. I mean, you want to throw 10x leverage on there. I mean, that's 330%. You could just do an even just 5%. You're 100 plus percent, 150%. That's 175%. But what are the bullish signals? You can see momentum rolled over, money flow deep in the red, 200 EMA, sky high. You got a wedge pattern here, and serious bullish divergence on Avax, looking for 10 to 35%. And what else do we got? XLM. It's looking bullish. Spread looks a lot smaller. You see the swing high at 1.345, swing low at 1.113, 1/3 retrace. I mean, after looking at the other ones, it's a meager 5%. But you gotta remember, man, that crypto bros are greedy. 5% is big gains, 10x leverage, 50%. 2x leverage, 10%. I mean, you don't need to take mad insane leverage. 10x leverage is a lot of leverage if you don't like to lose money. If you're using a small portion of your stack or something and only risking 1 to 3%, 10x leverage, you can get a pretty, if you look at this and say, okay, I got, let's just say $1,000 arbitrarily, and I want to risk 3%, well, what's 10%? $100, so 3% would be $30. So you can say, okay, if my stop loss is going to be 3% away, and I only want to lose $30 out of my 1,000, you could throw that whole 1,000 on there and take 10x leverage. Just size. There's calculators out there. I know Kite Crypto's got a good one. KITE. It's very easy to use. Just size your position according to your stack. If your stack's $1,000 and you never risk more than 3%, some people never risk more than 1% on a trade. And you just say, okay, well, what's my stop loss? Well, that's how much leverage you can use to risk that much on the trade. Low risk, high reward. I don't know what the risk reward here is, but Well, if you go 3%, I mean, you're almost a 1-to-1, 1.5. Stop loss 2 would be above the 200 EMA. This has been ranging for quite a while. You're pretty much at the bottom of the range. What I should have done here is pull the volume profile. I encourage you to do that on your own. Take this sideways range here, swing high, swing low. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 divergence that has not confirmed yet, but getting close. Money flows rising. The 4 hour. This is the 4 hour. You can see that this price action is curling over and it's flattening out. And what you want to see here for real confirmation is a break of trend to the upside. Draw a trend line, let it break. Take a small position here, like 50% of what you want to take. Maybe don't enter the whole trade in one swoop. Let price break that trend. And right as it breaks trend, add a little more. Let it pull back and retest that trend and get her all in there. But you can think of this as a giant sideways range. Well, where's the point of control? I mean, I can just kind of see it by eye, and where it looks like most of the trading has occurred. But you can use the fixed volume profile tool. It's probably right in about here. Right, pretty much about where that 200 EMA is. A lot of highs, a lot of lows, a lot of support and resistance flips right there. Value area highs probably way up here, but I'm looking for a 5% and a 10%. If you want these levels, I mean, join that Discord. Like, share, subscribe to this channel. Let's get some views out there. But or else you can go to TradingView. Follow us on TradingView at CryptoFile622. There should be a link to Twitter, which, I mean, I don't really tweet on there. Sounds dumb. But I do post these charts on there, but you might as well just get them from TradingView. And in all honesty, if you're interested in viewing these kinds of charts on a regular basis, in all seriousness, join the Discord. I mean, that's where they are, and that's where we're talking about it. That's where we're putting them together and, giving updates on how we're trading them or if we've just bailed or what. But XLM, what are we looking at? 5 to 10%. I did not take a look at XRP, but if you look back, way back on this CryptoFile622 page, you'll find that way back there should be a chart of XLM and XRP next to each other, showing how they literally have identical fractal patterns. So I mean, if XLM is looking bullish, XRP is going to pump right with it. And if XRP is looking bullish, well, XLM is probably going to follow. And usually they both look bullish at the same time. What else did we look at today? We looked at ADA, Cardano, the snail. Well, the old adage goes, slowly but surely the snail reached the arc. See, here I did pull a volume profile. You can see this point of control. Here, once again, you got a big sideways range. Point of control is 55% higher. But you can see the price came down. You got a big wick, wicked up, came up, retested, rejected, and a real slow grind down, slow, tedious grind down, but look at it. You can just follow the curvature of that price action. It's just losing momentum to the downside. What do you got here again? Deep in the red on the money flow. Wave trend oscillator. You can just kind of follow the trend of it down. There's peak momentum to the downside. Well, price made another low, and momentum is building to the upside. Price is still right here. But again, a little bit wider stop loss. That's because this value area lows down here. I mean, you could, get your stop loss in right here. Not quite so far away, but still, you just got to size your position appropriately. If you only want to risk, 3% of your stack on a trade and you got $1,000, well then, I mean, this is a no leverage trade unless you only want to put $100 of your capital on there and then jack up the leverage 10, 20x or whatever. It however just depends on how many trades you want to enter. And if you want to spread that money out across the board, use a calculator. Figure out what 3% of your stack is. If it's $1,000, well, it's $30. So how do I want to adjust my position size to make sure if I get stopped out down here, I don't lose any more than $30. And for take profit, we got 14%, which would be a 1/3 retrace of this swing high, swing low. And again, this is all consolidation inside this swing still. This hasn't been broken. The liquidity up here hasn't been taken. Liquidity down here has not been taken. Well, it was taken from right here. It came down, took that liquidity, and then now it's consolidating in there. Price rounding over. 200 EMA is right in the golden pocket, so I got a TP1 at 14% at 0.278. Maybe it makes more sense to do a 0.275 or something, psychological level. And second take profit, I'll probably close 50% here. Stop loss to entry, close another 25% or close it all at 0.3 right at the 50% retrace. Also going to be right at the 200 daily EMA. And if you want to hold a little longer to the PLC, looking to grab this liquidity up above here and then do a retrace, maybe a 50% retrace, or come down and bounce off the top of that 200 EMA. Maybe it'll push up to the value area high. But there's 3-4 of them, So what did we look at here? And why are these all looking bullish? Well, let's do one extra live one. We'll just hop right into the chart and we'll look at that XRP, just because it's probably the same as XLM. XPR. Good night. XRP. We'll hop on Binance because Binance seems to have the most volume. I'll get rid of this guy. And you can see price is kind of rotating to the upside. Let's grab our brush tool here and let's just kind of follow this curvature. When it falls out of this parabola, party's over. When time and price are square on a log chart measuring the change in percentage, that means you've reached max thrust here in the price, or you've reached max exhaustion, whichever, exhaustion to the upside, or same thing going down, exhaustion to the downside. You follow this curvature. Where did the trend change? Right in this area at the bottom of this curve where time and price were square. It's not a perfect science, but it's also not rocket science, and it's a good gauge as to when should we be expecting this trend to end. Well, let's get down and look at the oscillator here. We're on the daily still. See, this doesn't have the bullish divergence that XLM had, but look at this money flow, deep in the red. You can see it's curving down, and it hasn't quite started curving to the upside yet, but it looks ready. Just looking at even this right here, look at the curvature of this local trend here. Where would you expect that to reverse? Right here. It's either gonna dump or it's gonna pump. And let's follow the momentum. You can see it's trending to the upside, and then it starts trending to the downside. Where would you expect a bottom? Right in this area, kind of right where we're at now. So maybe we get something like this still. Who knows? I expect to just kind of hold this curve, and now you can see, it's starting to kind of build its way back to the upside. You can follow this curvature to the downside. You know, should be looking for a top somewhere in this area. Just delete some of that. Yeah, so about right here is about the middle. You can see this momentum building out to the downside. This is one of the things I use to be directionally correct. As momentum rolled over to the downside, it didn't force price to break the trend to the downside. Did we get a push down? Sure. Did we consolidate there and just kind of range sideways? Sure. But what didn't we do? We didn't break the trend. When the momentum rolled to the, it's trending to the downside. Lower wave, and you can just kind of follow that curve. Just like right here, you can just follow this curve. You would expect, this to be over sometime about right in here. Maybe this dumps and plummets too. So stop losses for, and let's take some levels. So I mean, this here is not as obviously bullish as that XLM is, but I do like this money flow awfully deep. Price is rising, money flow is dropping. Here's the low. You don't need divergence. I mean, divergence is just a bonus token. This here has no divergence. It's got a higher low on the oscillator, higher low in the price, but it's got a nice curvature to the price action. Deep in the red on the money flow, and I bet if we hop down to the 4 hour, maybe we got some bullish divergence down there. Let's take a look, and let's see. We do not. I mean, these here are pretty equal. Look at this right here. And then what do we got here? A higher high, and probably going to put in a higher low. So, kind of. Almost looks like it could just hang here a little bit. Could be doing some kind of a reverse head and shoulders, That could also be there, where your target would be up here. So we're not going to be extremely bullish on XRP, even though it's probably going up farther. We're on the 4 hour here. You can see this is curling to the downside. This actually doesn't even look like it's completely done. This looks like it could have a little bit more. Maybe not. XRP is a much harder read than XLM. Usually the fractal, well, not usually, if you look at the macro, at the daily, it's exactly the same. This I'd exercise a little more caution. Maybe keep the stop loss tight. Here's the trend. A person could do a stop loss down here. We'd be looking at, even if you just took the last low on the 4 hour. Oh, come on. There we go. There we go. Ooh, 10%. Yeah. See, this just isn't for me, These ones just aren't for me. I mean, if anything, well, the only reasonable thing I see here would be a long entry at the exact second rad if the low time frame says it's okay. I mean, there you got about a 2% stop loss. Lower that risk drastically, because that's just too much there. So let's pull a retrace. There's our swing low, swing high, and we want price to retrace to the upside. We want to know how much of this trend is retraced, so we need the numbers going upward. Just double click it, go into the settings and reverse. There we go. So it's already retraced 1/3. 50%, be at 6294, about 63 or so. So XRP we'd be looking at, that's pretty juicy, 25%. and that's if it doesn't just push on higher. It certainly could. Certainly could. The only thing I don't like is the stop loss. I don't like getting stopped out. I mean, price could always come down and break that trend. One thing we can look at, let's grab a volume profile. I'm just going to go from the high to here. Yeah, that ain't saying very much. Here's a high volume node though, right, well, pretty much right there. Yeah, a little wider stop loss, that's for sure. But I mean, you know, 50%, that's pretty good. Yeah, so if you went back just one low back, you know, you're looking at 4%. Two lows back, you're looking at 10%. If we just target just the 1/3 retrace again, it you know, here's your liquidity level. There's liquidity here, liquidity down here. So this 1/3 retrace level is more than sufficient. You know, if you took much smaller stop loss, you know, maybe we consider that the bottom's already in. Looking at a smaller time frame, we say this is the bottom, you know, and your stop loss is right below the current candle. Well, then you're looking at about 2%. You know, if you're going to risk 2% to make 9.5%, that's okay if there's a reason to on the smaller time frames. So here at the 50%. Let's see here. So 1/3 would be 55.07. We'll just say 55, and 50% retrace would be 0.6294. 10% on the 1/3, 25% on the 50% retrace. Let's pop down to the hourly. See if we got some serious bullish divergence down there. And look at what we got. She's hot. Look at that. This is ready. Serious divergence. Nice big drop. And ready to pop to the upside. Nice clear divergence. Price is rolling over to the downside. You would expect it to roll over to the upside. Something like this. And then what do we got on the price? You know, look at this low on the oscillator. You know, it's basically a double bottom, significantly lower low. And it came down and took the liquidity below this low. You know, so if even if a person just targeted 52, you know, if you want to be a short-term scalper, here's your stop loss right down here, and the long right there. But I hope it was a help for you. If you want to get in on these trades or a bunch more, or you like the TA or something, you know, like, share, subscribe, join the Discord. Until then, trade well.